Members of extremist groups coordinating with each other before January's deadly riots on Capitol Hill. That's what a newly filed court document alleges. Let's bring in NBC News Justice correspondent Pete Williams. Pete, federal prosecutors say the man accused of being a leader of the Oath Keepers was in contact with members of other extremist groups like the Proud Boys as early as mid-December. What else did you learn from that court filing?
Right. This is the first suggestion by the government that members of extremist groups were in touch with each other before they got to Washington. And it comes in a memo opposing pretrial release for a man named Kelly Meggs of Florida. Prosecutors say he's one of 10 members of the Oath Keepers who played a leading role in the Capitol assault. And the government says on December 19th, he posted a message on Facebook saying that he organized an alliance between Oath Keepers, Florida 3%ers, and Proud Boys, and that between then and early January, he organized and took part in online discussions affiliated with the Oath Keepers, led and planned the group's activities, and paid for 2 hotel rooms here in Washington. In several of these messages, Meggs appears to contemplate some kind of street protest action, saying the Oath Keepers would march with the Proud Boys and then fall to the back of the crowd and be prepared to engage with any members of Antifa. But by the afternoon of January 6th, the prosecutors say Meggs and the other Oath Keepers rushed into the Capitol in a military-style formation. But while this document says there was coordination, it's all about coordinating to do something in Washington. It doesn't say to storm the Capitol, and it remains a question. Whose idea was it to go into the Capitol, and when did that plan come about?
Pete, one of the Facebook messages in this court document, it's dated Christmas Day, talks about guarding someone on January 6th. What can you tell us about that particular message and its significance?
Well, again, it doesn't say that they were going to the Capitol to storm the building. It says, during the day, we may be guarding, and then the name is blocked out. But other court documents have made it pretty clear that Oath Keepers, some of them were volunteering to provide security for Roger Stone, the former Trump advisor.
Pete, let's talk about the Supreme Court in a totally separate situation. The justices are set to conference behind closed doors on Friday to discuss whether to add a Second Amendment case to the docket next term. What can you tell us about that case, and what else is on their agenda Friday?
Well, this is a case from New York. It challenges a New York state law. New York doesn't allow a permit to carry a gun openly outside the home. The only way you can get a carry permit is for a concealed carry permit license. And to qualify for that, you have to show some special need, something beyond just a concern about crime or a desire to have protection. You have to show something beyond what ordinary members of the public would demonstrate. And the challengers of this law say it's so restrictive that it's almost impossible to get one of these permits, and that violates the Second Amendment. They say the Second Amendment says there's a right to keep and bear arms. So what does the and bear arms part of the Second Amendment mean? They say if you can't carry a gun outside the home. Now, if the Supreme Court agrees to hear this case, it would be the first time really since over a decade ago, since the Supreme Court's rulings in 2008 and 2010 that said the Second Amendment does provide an individual right to keep a gun at home for self-defense. The court took a case on this last term, another New York law about you can't take your gun outside city limits. But eventually, after New York repealed that law, the Supreme Court booted the case and ended up not deciding it. So over the last decade, the court has consistently ducked this question about, OK, what about gun rights outside the home? And maybe now that they have this solid 6-3 majority with the addition of Amy Coney Barrett after the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, now the pro-gun advocates on the court will think they have the necessary votes to take this case.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.